Let's head back to the voicemail of Truth and Reason. This one about another area the Browns trying to upgrade the defensive line.
Olivier Vernon, is he still hurt? And if he is his timetable for him to be ready to play for this year? And is he an actual option for us at that defensive end spot? Or is he still even on the roster? Or what's the situation with Olivier Vernon? Thank you once again. Go Browns.
Okay, and Ashley, he was injured with the Achilles late 2 years ago, didn't play anywhere last year. He is expected to be back for the start of the year.
Yeah, I think he's an interesting name to see if the Browns would go out and get him. Now, obviously, his roster spot last year was taken by Jadeveon Clowney, right? So for me, when I'm thinking about defensive end depth on the Browns, I think Jadeveon Clowney would still be my number one ask. Like, we saw how he elevated his own play. We saw how he played alongside Myles Garrett. All of that was really positive, and I think he has more in the tank. He knows Joe Woods' system already. He knows this defense. He knows this team. He knows the other guys. I just think overall it would be less adapting for everyone. But Olivier Vernon, that's an interesting thought experiment, I think. And at this point, I think you have to almost pursue everything to get more depth on that defensive line and ask those questions. Today we did just get the news that they are bringing in Isaac Rochelle, who was with the Colts last year. He was with the Chargers the first 4 years of his career. He was a former 7th-round pick, but he's been a contributor throughout his career. So that might need that will lead to some depth, I think. But it's also important to remember that the Browns, potentially Jadeveon Clowney might not come back, number one, right? And then you have Takk McKinley, who's out with that Achilles injury, and there's no guarantee when he will be back. So I really just think overall you need to continue to add as much depth to that D-line as possible. There is one guy in the draft who I'm really excited about who could be a possibility, I think, for them in the 3rd round if they want to go that route, and that is Josh Paschall out of Kentucky. I think he's an interesting prospect as well. There are a lot of interesting routes I think they could go, but depth still needs to be a big goal on the line and on the interior of the line as well.
Yeah, a lot of work to do. That's really the only area where you say, boy, they need a lot in some depth in the wide receiver room as